Hello everyone, let us see how to create a mobile app in Photoshop. So let us start. Let's first create the document for our mobile app. So the name of our mobile app is Tomato. And here we will select pixels as units of measurement. And the width is going to be 320 pixels and the height is going to be 480 pixels. This is the size of an average mobile phone. Right. And the resolution is 300. We'll be working in the best resolution. Right. And make sure that the color mode is RGB. And once all these values are set, now we will just click on this create button to create our document. So this is our document. And now let's start building our app. The first thing is we will get the image required for our app. So here is the image of some recipes. So we will get this image first. So simply we will drag this image into our document. We will scale the image. We will rotate the image. And we can also flip the image. Right. So once we have placed the image, here we can rename our layer as food image. And also we will create one nice interesting background. And we will try to blend the background with the image. We'll create a layer above the food image layer. And we will select the gradient tool. And in the gradient editor, we will select one dark color. And which is a dark red color. And a light red color. So something like this. And we will make sure that the darker color is even darker. The dark color is more dark. Right. So something like this. And now we will just use the linear gradient style and just create the gradient over this background. So something like this. Right. And we will try to blend the background with the food image. So one thing what we'll do is we will first rename the layer background, and then we will drag the layer below the food image layer, and we will apply a mask to the food image layer. And then we will open the gradient editor again. This time we will use pure black and pure white colors. So we'll be using this black and white gradient over this food image. We can get some nice blending between the background and this food image. So we'll simply drag. So something like this. We got some nice blend. So we can just keep dragging here. So till we get some nice blend. Right. So here we got some nice blend, and there is one thing we can do. We can just slightly change the gradient for our background. So here I have opened the layer style. So we'll activate the layer style. And let's keep finding a better color. So we can just change the color to a lighter shade. We want a mix of light and dark colors. So something like this, and we'll make the darker shade a little bit light. So something like this. This looks better. And we have also changed the position of these sliders. Right. So now we'll confirm this color for the background. Right. The next step is we will also apply a black color to the layer below the background layer. So there is one layer here. For this layer we will apply a black color background, and we will now reduce the opacity for the background layer. So we can see here it looks a little bit dark, right? So now we will select all these three layers and we will group them, and we will create a background layer, right? Now the next step is we will now create the logo for our mobile app. So I have selected this particular logo for our mobile app. I have downloaded this from iconfinder.com. So let's drag this and drop it on our mobile app. We will also give a different color to this particular logo. So let's double click on the right side of the layer or logo layer, and we will give it a different color. So we can give the same red color, and we will also give some stroke to this, and we will apply a white color to the stroke. We will reduce the size of the stroke, and we will change the position of the stroke as outside. Something like this, right? And the next thing we'll do is we'll first rename the layer as logo. We will select an ellipse tool. We'll hold shift and create a perfect ellipse, and then we will drag this ellipse, and we will drag the ellipse layer below the logo layer. We can create some nice elliptical background behind this logo. So we'll just scale the ellipse, and we'll give a different gradient color to this ellipse. So activate the ellipse tool from the tools panel, and we'll try to give it a different gradient. Let's give it a greenish gradient. And we will change the gradient style to reflected, and make sure that the dark color, which is right now at the center, has to be at the corners. So here we have the option reverse the gradient colors, right? And we can also change the angle here. Now this looks better. We'll turn off the stroke, right? And we will also apply a drop shadow to it. Just we need to select the drop shadow and reset all the default values here, and we can see there is a drop shadow behind the ellipse. Let's increase the opacity. Now we can clearly see a drop shadow, and to make it more attractive, we can also give some stroke to it. So here we can see the stroke. A white stroke is attractive, right? So now we have completed our logo, and we will now select the logo and the ellipse, and we will group it, and we will rename the group as logo, right? We'll scale down the logo. We need to center scale it, and we'll keep it a little bit on top, right? And also we can slightly reduce the opacity for this ellipse so that we can also see the background through this ellipse. So we can just slightly reduce it so we can see here. This looks better. Right. Now the next step is make sure that this logo is exactly at the center. Right. Now we will put the title for our mobile app. The title is Tomato. So we will just select the type tool and here we will type the title, and we need to reduce the size of the text. So let's keep it 50 points. We need to make it more small. So we need a very small size text. Okay, this looks better. And let's change the text to Tomato. We can use any font here, but for me the best one is okay, let's see a different font. So we can use Comic Sans. We'll use Comic Sans font for our text, and we'll change the color. We'll change the color to pure white. Right. And we'll keep it here. And we'll also apply some drop shadow to the text so we can see here. Right. Now the next step is we are actually creating the opening screen of our mobile app. So the opening screen is going to have username, password, and all the login related material. So now we are going to create a login screen. So the next step is we'll now select a rectangle tool, and we will make this rectangle into rounded rectangle. We'll increase the points here. We'll just put 100 here, and then we'll just create a box or a rounded rectangle. We'll give a different color to this, and also we will scale it down. So here we have the options to apply gradients. We will apply a yellowish gradient, yellow and orange. This looks better. And we will also turn off the stroke. So something like this. And we can just reduce its opacity a little bit. Just a little bit. Right. Then we will just rename it as username rectangle. It's always a good practice to give names to our layers. We can easily understand the layer. So now we'll take one more duplicate and we'll just drag another rectangle and we'll rename it password. Right. We'll select both password and username rectangle. We'll just make it small. Right. And the next step is we'll first rename this password as password rectangle. Right. Now we'll get the icons related for our username and password. So now we'll get the username icon. So here is the username icon. What we'll do is we will first give it some color. So let's give it a red color, a pure red color. And we don't want this ellipse around this username icon. We will just delete it. Right. And now we will convert this icon to a smart object. This is very important because in case we try to scale this icon, it may lose its resolution. So we have to prevent that. So once we have converted it to a smart object, we'll simply drag. Smart objects will not spoil the original image, they will maintain the resolution. You can just scale it down. Right. Now we'll get the password icon. So here we have the password icon. We will also change the color for this. And we will also convert this icon to a smart object. Now we'll simply drag. We can make it even smaller. Just right. So now we have the icons for both password and username. Align them properly. Right. Now we will just rename the layers. This one is username and the other one is password. Right. And we will also put the title as username, and we want the text to be a very small, and also we have to change the color here. Let's try to change it to pure blue color, or let's say dark blue color, but we want the text to be very small. So something just this much is okay. We can slightly increase the size. I think 2 points is okay. Keep it exactly at the center of the rectangle or rounded rectangle, and we'll just take a duplicate and we will change the name as password. Right. So now we have completed these username and password fields. The next step is we have to create buttons. So we'll again select the rectangle, and it is a rounded rectangle. We'll create one button. We'll give it a green color, a greenish gradient, dark green and light green shades, and we will also remove the stroke. Here we have the stroke, and here we have the no stroke option or no color option for the stroke. Right. And also we will change the gradient style to reflected, and we will also click on this reverse the gradient colors. We want the center color to be light, and we will slightly make the center color a little bit dark. Okay, this looks better. So this is the login button, and we will keep the login button to the left, And then we'll just take a duplicate of this button, and this is the sign up button, and we'll change the sign up color to a different color. Let's change it to orange color, orange and yellow. This looks better, right? And we will rename the layers. This one is sign up, and this one is, or we can say, sign up button, and the green one is login button, right? And to make them a little bit interesting, we can give them some layer styles. We can just select a stroke, and we can also give it a drop shadow. This looks better. And we can try to give it a, let's say, a yellow stroke or something like this, pure yellow, right? We can also keep the stroke center or inside. Okay. And then for this sign up button, we'll also give it a stroke and a drop shadow, but we want the stroke color to be different. Let's try green, or we can try blue. Okay, I think green looks better, right? So now we have a login and sign up buttons. Now what we will do is we will just put the names login and sign up on these buttons. So all we have to do is we'll just duplicate the password text, and then we'll just drag it on top of this button. We'll rename it login. Keep it exactly at the center, and we'll take one more duplicate. Simply we can hold Alt on PC, Alt in PC, or Option in Mac, and then just create a duplicate. And for this one we will put sign up, right? Align them properly, that's very important, right? Now we need some more options at the bottom. So in case you want the user to remember the password, we want to create a text, remember me. So what we'll do is we'll select the text, we'll type the word remember me, and we will change the color to pure white. And then we will align it properly, and we'll take a duplicate here, and this one will be forgot password, right? This looks better. We need to align them properly, right? And also we have icons for remember me and forgot password, so we'll get those icons. So we need a tick mark here for remember me. So what we'll do is we'll first just apply a color for this tick mark. We'll apply a pure white color, and we will remove this ellipse around this tick, and we will convert this tick to a smart object, and then we will drag this inside our app, right? And what we'll do is we will put this tick mark inside a box, a rectangular box. So here we'll select the rectangle and we will just make it a flat rectangle, not a rounded one. Just we'll create this rectangular box, and then we will turn off this fill option for this, and we will change the stroke color to pure white. You can slightly increase the thickness of this rectangle, and we'll just make it 2 pixels. That's it. And I will just keep it besides this. Remember me, you can make it a little bit small, and then we will select our tick mark. So let's rename it tick mark. We'll reduce the size and let's keep it inside this. Right, this looks better. So we need to adjust it properly. Right, so now we got the tick mark, and we will also get the password icon. We already have the password icon here. We'll put the password icon besides this forgot password. So what we'll do is we'll simply just duplicate it and we'll keep it besides the forgot password text, and we will change its color. To change its color, we just have to double click on it, and here we have entered inside its editing mode, and we will just change its color to pure white, and then we will save it, and we will come back to our mobile app. So we can see here, right, one problem we are facing here is, we have also changed the color for this password here. We don't want that to happen, so we can do one thing. We'll select the password layer, we'll right click on it, we'll select rasterized layer, and then we'll control and click on the password layer thumbnail, and we will change its color to pure red again. Right, and now we'll again right click on it and select convert to smart object. That's it. Right, so now we have completed the most important part of our app. So we just have to put some more things inside our app. So see here, whoever wants to log inside our website, they generally just put their username and password and just click on this login button. But there's also another thing that we generally do, that is we can also log in by using Google or Facebook. So we will now put the buttons that have Google and Facebook on them. So we'll get those buttons. So here we have login with Facebook and sign in with Google. So what we'll do is we will just remove the background. And first let me take the Facebook. So first I will select this Facebook button. I will keep it in a new layer. I will convert this layer to a smart object, and I will do the same for Google. Now let's drag the Facebook layer inside our app. And let's scale it down. Right, and we'll do the same thing. We'll select the Google and drag it and drop it inside our app. Align it properly with the Facebook button. Make sure that the size of login button and the Facebook button are same. Right, and we will rename these layers. So this one is Google button, and the another one is Facebook button. Right, So then here we also have to rename it as a tick mark rectangle. Right. So we have properly named the layers. Then what we'll do is we will select everything here, everything above the logo, below the logo actually, and we will just activate the transform tool and we'll keep it a little bit on top. Right. And we will also select our logo and also the text, the title of the logo, and we will move it a little bit up. Right. We are almost about to finish our app. So we will now put a phone icon for home delivery at the bottom. So what we'll do is we'll get the phone icon. So here is the phone icon. We'll change its color to pure yellow. We'll convert this icon to a smart object and let's drag it inside our app. Let's keep it here. Right. Now we will put the phone number. First we'll rename the layer as phone, and we will now put some dummy phone number. So this is some dummy number. Right, and we can just put one small text here that reads order now. Just we can increase it, or let's see here there is an extra E. Right. We can just move the number and phone a little bit down. So now we have completed the opening screen of our mobile app. One last thing we'll do is we'll first adjust all the elements. We'll adjust the elements properly. We'll select everything from logo to the buttons. So this is the reason why I have renamed everything. We can easily understand. We'll just move them a little bit on top. Right. Now the thing we'll be doing is we will be placing the entire opening screen image inside a mobile phone image. We will try to fit our app inside a mobile phone. So what we'll do is we'll first take a merged copy of all these layers. We will not merge these layers because we might have to edit them again if we want to do some extra changes. So instead of merging all the layers, we will create a merged copy of all the existing layers. The way to use this option is we can use Ctrl Alt Shift E in PC or Command Option Shift E in Mac. So now we got a merged copy of all the existing layers. We'll just rename it as final screen. Right. Now what we'll do is we'll just drag this one inside a mobile phone image over here. Right. So we can just reduce the size. We'll try to fit this image inside this mobile phone. So what we'll do is we'll reduce the opacity here, so we can see the borders, where the borders are and how our app is appearing. So we can just remove some unwanted pieces of our mobile app. So just we will use the marquee tool. We'll draw a selection and we'll now invert the selection. So we'll simply use Ctrl Shift I in PC or Command Option I or Command Shift I in Mac, and simply hit delete. Right, and now we will increase the opacity. Right, this is our mobile app Tomato. So these mobile apps are now very much useful for all of us, and this is called UI design or user interface design. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Please do like, subscribe, share, and if you have anything to say, do comment. See you again.